C squared. I want to make this video as a reply. You know, in one of your videos, you asked if someone else could make a reply video about their addiction, struggles they're going through, and blah, blah, blah. Well, I tell you what, I've been watching your videos, and I've been really inspired by you. The day that you had cleaned the bathroom at your family's business, and you found that Suboxone strip.
What I'm about to show you is not something I expected to find today. I'm going to go ahead and warn you, if seeing Suboxone is a trigger for you, don't watch past this part. So I was cleaning up in the back. When I got sober, I thought I had thrown everything away, or everything I seen I'd thrown away. I'm just making this right now because yeah, I'm in a situation, and I've got to do this, because if I don't, I will end up taking it. Yeah. So we're about to flush it. Here we go. I don't really want to touch it.
And the fact that you flushed it down the toilet, that was so powerful. And the struggle you showed on your video of where you were fighting these inner demons and wanting to use it, but trying to resist it.
I didn't want to do that. I would have loved nothing more than to take that right now, right then. But I can't. I can't slip again. I can't mess up. I can do this. I will do this. I am doing this.
I adore how you are trying to provide a positive outlook for everybody who's struggling with this addiction. You're looking at someone who's been addicted for 10 years. You're looking at someone who's lost more friends than he has fingers and toes to the disease of addiction. You're looking at someone who spent 10 years lying to himself, telling himself, I'm going to quit tomorrow. I'm going to quit next week. I'm going to quit next month. I want to quit next year. And yet, it's 10 years later. Just like the saying goes, one's too many and 1,000's never enough, is so damn true and so brilliantly said. And it makes perfect sense, especially to us who are addicts and know. And one of the hardest things for an addict to do is to admit that they have a problem. And the next hardest thing for an addict to do is to face that problem. But there's that fear inside of me that says, don't tell anybody, because as soon as you do, you're going to be judged. Like everybody else that's judged you. Everybody else that's looked down on you. Everybody else that's thought you were nothing. You were a scum. You were a pathetic drug addict. Nobody. So why admit it to anybody? Why admit it to anybody that pays attention to you or to me? Because we don't want judged. We fear judgment, we hate judgment, we run from judgment, and we try to escape it, and we use and we abuse because of it. And it's time that we begin to love ourselves. It's time that we begin to realize that we do matter, that we are important, that we are human beings. This disease of addiction is not a choice. A lot of people say, well, it was your choice to use. It was your choice to abuse. Well, if you're addicted to chocolate, well, then it was your choice to taste it, right? So give up chocolate for the rest of your life. And then you might have a hint of what it's like to be an addict. Just a tiny hint of what the struggle is like to give it up. And that's just a small example, because being an addict is 1,000 times more difficult to give up than chocolate. I could easily give up chocolate for the rest of my life, and it's my most favorite dessert. It's the best tasting thing in the world to me. But I could give that up far easier than I could the drugs. All the regrets, all the shame, all the guilt, all the missed opportunities. I have zero motivation, zero happiness, and I'm depressed every day. Yet something about this chemical calls me and says to use, even though I don't want to, and I'm searching for that willpower. And you inspire me. Facing the problem can be scary. It can almost be horrifying. But let me tell you what's more scary, what's more horrifying. Spending 10 years of your life going down a drain. Spending 10 years of your life hurting people that you love. Spending 10 years of your life spending money that could have went towards many other things. Spending 10 years of your life living on false happiness. When you're on a chemical and you're on a drug, you don't even know what real happiness is. Real happiness is meaningless to you, because real happiness is something you don't know, you haven't felt in years. And as you continue to use and you continue to see your friends drop away like dead flies, when will it sink into you that this is serious? This is a disease. One time in this last 10 years, I was able to quit. One time for a substantial amount of time. You know what that substantial amount of time was to me? A month and a half. And during that month and a half, I had a moment, I had an epiphany. I had something spark off in my head. That it was something in me that realized, wow, that is scary. What I was doing was killing myself. That's scary. I was using all these drugs and doing all that and hurting all these people. And I was doing it to myself, and I didn't even see how dangerous it was. I never saw that when I was abusing, but I realized it when I was sober. Unfortunately, today I'm still using. Unfortunately, today I still suffer from the disease. All I can say is my reasons for using has always been emotional pain. And we were never taught how to deal with our mental problems, our emotions. We were always taught to not deal with it, be tough, be a man, suck it up. And so we've carried around this baggage of emotions throughout our whole life, and we've spent our whole lives keeping ourselves distracted, looking for things to keep our minds off of the traumas of the past that's hurt us. Well, when you reach a point that those traumas get overwhelming and overbearing, and you've gotten to the point to where you just can't take it anymore, and then you're introduced to a substance and you use it, it feels like that's the answer to all your problems. Like, this is what's going to make me happy. This is what's going to complete me. This is what's going to give me confidence. This is what's going to give me the self-esteem that I've been searching for, the happiness. But the thing is, it's all a lie. It's all just a temporary chemical happiness that lasts for a short period of time, and then once you become addicted and you develop a tolerance, it's no longer fun, and you realize it's a bitch to get off. And then when you try to get off, you get sick, and you take it not to get high, but to feel well. You know, you were talking about that one night where you had the money in your hand and you were getting ready to go get it, and then all of a sudden that girl called you. And that changed the whole game, because you were ready to relapse that night. And had she not called, you would have relapsed.
I am not ashamed to admit that last night was this close, guys. I was this close to relapsing. I even went as far to get the money and everything. And I had the money in my hand. And I was at Big O Tires getting my tires changed. And then I talked to her.
Well, remember this the next time. Remember the next time when you're close to relapse, and if by some chance you don't get a call from that girl, or if by some chance you and that girl is not together, I want you to remember that me and all your other 4,000 plus subscribers, and anyone else outside of your subscribers that watches your videos, all of us is rooting for you. The 4,000 plus subscribers, the 8,000 plus eyes watching you.
But sometimes it's okay to do it for somebody else that day. Because guys, if it wasn't for her, this video would be me telling you that I relapsed.
All of us is looking up to you. All of us sees hope in you. And you are an inspiration to us all. So I want you to feel good about that. I want you to look at yourself in the mirror and feel good every day with what you're doing, because I'm proud of you. And what you're doing takes a lot of courage. Not a lot of people that use wants to put their face out there, wants to admit it to the world. A lot of people that are addicted to drugs get judged. They feel shamed. They feel embarrassed. They want to hide. They're embarrassed about their disease. They're embarrassed about their addiction, and they're treated as if they are scum of the earth. So it takes a warrior to step up and say, look, this is my problem, and this is what I'm doing to fight it. But understand this. We're not going to judge you if you relapse. We're not going to judge you if you get weak. We're going to understand completely, and we're going to love you regardless. Because we're there. We know. Nobody knows better than us. And nobody will judge you any less than us. Because we're in the same boat you're in. We're in the same boat you were in. And now we want to be on shore where you're at right now. Out of the roaring winds and ferocious walls and mountains of waves in the ocean. We want to get out of this ocean, this storm. We want to reach the shore where you're at, where the sun's shining, where the beach is nice, where there's plenty of food, where there's pretty women. We want to be there. We want to get out of the storm. And you are the rope. You are the compass. You are the beacon of light, showing us the way, providing the path for us. And by your inspiration and by your good words and by your positive attitude, each and every day, you encourage more and more people, and you give more and more people strength. If you ever sit down and think about the power that your voice has, you'll be overwhelmed. Hug yourself. Give yourself a pat on the back because you're touching other people's lives. That's amazing, and it's powerful. Yes, that could be a lot of responsibility, and it can feel somewhat overwhelming. Continue to do what you're doing, because I tell you, I've had over 15 friends die in the last 4 years from overdoses. 15. And one friend was just like as close as a brother to me. Was an absolute best friend. I mean, we were that close. But yet I still don't have the power to stop using, because drug addiction is no different than being overweight, no different than being addicted to, anything. Someone's addicted to chocolate. If you love chocolate, let's say someone doesn't understand what drug addiction's like. Let's say chocolate is your favorite dessert in the entire world. Well, try to not eat that for the rest of your life and see how it goes. And then maybe you'll get an idea of what it's like for an addict to try to resist using a drug. So they have to give up something that made them feel great and happy and wonderful. They have to give it up for the rest of their lives. But not only that, but addicts use drugs so they don't have to feel pain, so they don't have to feel hurt. Not everybody deals with pain the same way. Maybe one person would gamble to feel better, where another person would eat comfort food to feel better, where another person would lift weights to feel better, where someone like me would use a drug to feel better. Not everybody deals with pain the same way. The unfortunate thing is with us, we are guilted and we are shamed, and that continues the cycle of the drug abuse, because we think about how we're judged, we think about how shamed we are, we think about how embarrassed we are, we think about how low we are. I mean, we feel horrible, and so we use more because we don't even want to face that. So I don't know if using Suboxone is necessarily the answer, because what it does is it takes you from a world of darkness and throws you into a pit of darkness, into the pits of hell, into an area where unless you have and until you have the strength to look at your prescription yourself and throw it away, and until you have that power, you probably won't quit. So I'm going to continue to tune into you, and I'm going to continue to watch you for my strength. And so I hope you watch this video, and I hope it inspires you. I hope maybe if ever you feel like relapsing, you watch this video again. If ever you need to hear someone say, keep doing the good work, keep fighting the good fight, then watch this video. Let me inspire you because you inspired us. So keep doing the good work, and we'll keep watching. Peace.
Your brain is the most powerful thing on this planet. Your life is a book. Your life is a novel. You have many chapters throughout this book. You have your birth chapter, you have your teenage years, but then you've got this chapter called addiction. Now, do you want that chapter to fill out the remainder of your book? And if you allow that, then obviously you're allowing your ending of your book to be a very, very sad ending. Or Will you decide today that your addiction chapter is over? It's time to open up that new page, write recovery, underline it a couple times, and begin a new chapter. I don't just like who I am, I love who I am. Being sober